Hi, in this lesson we're going to go over some basic fraction ideas. We've got one main learning objective for today, and that's to recognise when two fractions are equivalent. So before we jump straight into it, we're just going to do a quick revision of what a fraction is, just so that we have it fresh on our mind. So what is a fraction? A fraction represents part of a whole, usually when that whole is split into a number of equal parts. So we're going to use everyone's favourite topic to try and visualise what this means for us. So we have 3 whole pizzas here, and all 3 of our pizzas have been split into 4 equal slices. We have 3 friends, Amy, Beth and Claire, and we're going to use fractions to tell us how much of the pizza that each of our friends has eaten. So our first friend, Amy, ate 1 of those 4 slices of pizza. So Amy has eaten 1/4 of a pizza. Our second friend, Beth, has eaten 2 of those 4 slices. So Beth has eaten 2/4 of a pizza. And our third friend, Claire, has eaten 3 of those 4 slices. So Claire has eaten 3/4 of a pizza. So this is a really simple way to understand what fractions tell us. Fractions tell us how much of something, in this case a pizza, that we've used or taken when split into even parts. So we're also going to quickly go over some fractional notation. So far the terms that we've been using are top number and bottom number, which is totally fine, but there are also more mathematical ways of saying that. So when we say top number, we mean numerator, and when we say bottom number, we mean denominator. So if we take the example of 3/4, when we say numerator, we mean 3, and when we say denominator, we mean 4. Okay? So now that's done, let's jump into the main part of our lesson, equivalent fractions. So when we say equivalent fractions, we mean fractions that have the same value but different forms. So fractions that have the same value but they look different. So if you have a look at the 5 fractions that I have written on the screen right now, we have 3/6, we have 5/10, we even have 99 out of 198, and I know you're wondering what's the relation, these are all so different, but actually all 5 of these fractions equal to the same value. They all have the value of 1/2. And I know that's a bit difficult to sort of wrap our minds around, so let's go back to a familiar example to try and understand what this means. So here we have 3 pizzas, and all 3 of our pizzas have been split into a different number of equal slices. So we're going to use fractions to tell us how much of the pizza is remaining. Our first pizza has 2 equal slices, and we have 1 of those 2 slices remaining, right? Our second pizza has 4 equal slices. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have 2 of those 4 slices remaining. And our third pizza has 8 equal slices, and we have 4 of those 8 slices remaining, right? So if you look at the diagrams, if you look at the pizzas, we have the exact same amount of pizza remaining for each of our pizzas. So even though we use different numbers to describe how much we have, the actual value of pizza we have is the exact same, and that's what we mean by equivalent fraction. Different numbers, different forms, but actually the exact same value. Right? So now that we understand what an equivalent fraction is, let's move on to how we get equivalent fractions. The key point to remember is that we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the exact same value. So to get an equivalent fraction, we multiply the numerator, the top number, and the denominator, the bottom number, by the same value. So let's find 2 equivalent fractions for 3/4. That's going to be our example for today. So for our first example, we're going to multiply our fraction by, let's say, 2. And again, we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same value. And this gives us 6/8. And for our second example of the same equivalent fraction, we're going to multiply our numerator and denominator by, let's say, 5. And this gives us 15/20. So even though these two values are completely different numbers, they give us the exact same value. They're both equivalent to 3/4. The way I like to describe it is if you think about zooming in and out, yeah, the size of the piece might change, but actually the value stays the exact same whether you zoom in or zoom out. So that was our really quick lesson on equivalent fractions. It's quite important you understand it. Once you do understand it, it does make 11+ maths a lot easier down the line. Thank you.